So we're Moonta Street, and as Lee said, Moonta Street is Chinatown. And so when you go into Adelaide these days, it's a very different demographic, isn't it? The people in the street, the places. So in some ways, we wanted to create an Adelaide music that was a little bit more reflective of what Adelaide is these days. So we're going to present some pretty old songs. We originally started playing folk songs together, but then we also wrote a whole lot of songs, original songs and more contemporary songs for the group. So we're going to do some songs about Adelaide, but songs about more global issues. All of our songs have something to say, I think. We're going to visit Samuel Taylor Coleridge on the way. No, right at the end. We're going to visit Samuel Taylor Coleridge, and then you'll see all our old instruments together. We'll have 5,000 years of instruments playing tonight with the Indian santur, and this is the gusheng, which is the Chinese harp, which goes back 2,500 years. So Chinese music has a very, very, very long tradition. So we're going to, in a sense, the other person we didn't introduce was Mary. So Mary is our vocalist, although on the first song is the only song that I sing. So I will be a vocalist on one of these songs. So we'll probably present something you haven't quite heard, some original songs, and we'll go back in time as well. So our first song, Imagine Yourself. Imagine yourself. Well, you don't have to imagine yourself. You just, as you drive down the freeway from Bridgewater, Mount Barker, Adelaide Hills, you get to the toll gate and you get to that traffic lights at Crossroads and top of that Port Rush Road. And as you look at the city, it's changing, isn't it? It's changing, and I come at it from the other side, which is Adelaide Airport. And I remember one day coming up Henley Beach Road, and there was 13 cranes on the skyline. So Adelaide somehow has been given permission to transform itself into something that it wasn't. And maybe we were recently the 4th most livable city in the world. I find that hard to imagine we'll keep that glorious title if all we do is put up big buildings. Driving through town, my Holden cruise. Something strange happened, I'm telling you. The light was so dazzling, it was an Adelaide sun. Next minute, a solar eclipse had begun. Who blocked the sun? Turned off the lights, turned on the shade, turned it to night. Who blocked the sun? Turned off the lights, turned on the shade, turned it to night. It's a massive great tower that's blocked at the sky. Well, it's 30 floors up and it's still getting higher. Last time I drove here, it was a heritage street. Now it's 38 floors of glass and concrete. Who blocked the sun? Turned off the lights, turned on the shade, turned it to night. Who blocked the sun? Turned off the lights, turned on the shade, turned it to night. Driving still further, I opened my eyes. Well, there's more of these towers, that is a surprise. They're sprouting like mushrooms, they're touching the clouds. Well, I never knew this kind of thing was allowed. Who blocked the sun? Turned out the lights, turned on the shade, turned it to night. Who blocked the sun? Turned out the lights, turned on the shade, turned it to night. Well, my city had style, my city had history. My city had soul, it even had mystery. Sandstone and bluestone, the city of ours. It's become like the others, a city of towers. It's become like the others, a city of towers. Who blocked the sun? Turned out the lights, turned on the shade, turned it to night. Who blocked the sun? Turned off the lights, turned on the shade, turned it to night. Thank you. This is another original song.
I notice how Keith doesn't tell you whose original songs these are, but Keith is actually the songwriter.
Thank you. And I suppose you're all aware, China's in the news a lot lately, not just because it's got a musical history of 2,500 years, but it's in the news. And one of the things that's been in the news is this Belt and Road project, which is pretty phenomenal. They've even got a sea version of the Belt and Road. But the Belt and Road is going to build a road all the way through from China, through from the eastern seaboard, right the way down into the Persian Gulf. And that's going to, I don't know, so that's the old Silk Road. And so, I don't know about you, but I have a very romanticised idea of what the old Silk Road is. I see camels, and I see silk, and I see civilizations and not fast things hurtling along the road at 140 kilometers an hour. So where there's a road, there'll be a train, and in some ways this will transform the world. So this song is called Fast Train on the Old Silk Road. And Mary sings this one.
This next song is called Moonta Street, and it is about that street right by the Central Market, where we rehearse in Zhao's School of Chinese Music. She's got a beautiful set of classes and loads of students who are rehearsing up there all times in the day and the night. She's got a little shop down by Hole and Sum, down in one of the arcades beside the market as well, with lots of beautiful things from China and the opportunity to learn calligraphy and Chinese music.
Can you hear the good hand in the music? Can you hear it enough? No, we always say, put it up. And you know where Moonta Street is? It's on Guja Street to Grote Street.
And right over Moonta Street, there are these two enormous Chinese lions. Have you seen them? Yeah. So this song has those lions right at the heart of the story, welcoming you into Moonta Street. What are those lions doing there? They guarding the road? Are they looking out for the travellers who pass by and all the revellers in Chinatown along Guja Street looking for something delicious to eat? So these lions, they're the lions in the song.
And Moonta is an Aboriginal word actually, which means impenetrable bush. And if you look along Moonta Street, you'll actually get to Moonta, which was a Cornish mining settlement. So we bring all these elements into this song, a bit of South Australian history, South Australia as it is today.
Lions, most majestic lions, guarding a sacred gateway. Lions, facing south and growling. Whosoever passes should pass in silence. Whosoever passes should pass in silence. Lions crowding the road northward, facing to the desert. Here is an oasis. from all nations. Lions, keeping them all safe. This place speaks of polished copper. This place has an ancient name. Lions, walking with the travelers. Oriental lions, here on Moonta Street. Lions, Oriental lions. Lions, here on Moonta Street. Don't you love the drama between the gujang and the drums, and especially the gujang and the drums, right? Too good.
This one's actually an Adelaide song. So, as Lee pointed out, a little bit of spring weather raises the spirits, and sometimes it feels like winter is going to go on for a long, long time. So this was written standing down North Terrace and King William Street with cold winds. And I do believe that the cold winds are even colder now that the wind goes through these canyons that have been created by these large buildings that have been put up. So there's a little bit of that, and there's a little bit of reference to what is most sacred to us as Adelaide people, which is the parklands and our festivals and the places that we eat and the heritage of our city. So this one, it is still possible to walk around Adelaide and get, and I salute you, Mr. Colonel Light, the Square Mile City Blues.
It's 1 mile down North Terrace, 1 mile back again. 1 mile down North Terrace, but it's further in the pouring rain. From Botanic Park to the RAH, you cross red lights in 7 places. 1 mile down North Terrace, 1 mile back again. On King William, wishing for a summer's day. Standing on King William, waiting for the cold to go away. The town hall clock sometimes rings, the Glenelg tram flies by on wings. Standing on King William, wishing for a summer's day. I used to know this city, every building, every street. I used to know this city and every person country town. I used to know this city, every building, every street. If it wasn't for the parklands, I'd get the square mile city blues. If it wasn't for the parklands with their eucalyptus views, I'd walk down to the torrent's weir, dive right in and swim back here. If it wasn't for the parklands with their eucalyptus views. Chinatown, down on Moonta Street. Down in Chinatown where the lions and the people meet. I'm eating my way on down the line, one noodle place at a time. Hanging out in Chinatown, down on Moonta Street. East end of Adelaide, water tastes like wine.
It tastes like wine.
The east end of Adelaide feels like festive time. I'm on the boulevard of unearthly bliss. There's no other city quite like this. The east end of Adelaide where water tastes like wine.
We played last year at the Asia Festival, and we got this bunch of young dudes who liked our music. It was really nice, and we're all they're all arty types, and they were all doing uni and art.
They were cooler than some of us,
They
standing
were,
toward the front.
They were younger than most of us, and they really liked our music. And they said it sounds like this world music meets surf music. So I guess we've got something going for us. We're Australia, and it's the home of surf.
Isn't it just so great to hear a song that speaks to your town, though? Really? Sometimes when we're singing that song, you can hear someone giggling as they recognise something in the song. It's really fun. The next one, though, is called...
About surf.
About surf. Next song is called Sea Change. Not really positive sea change, though. I think we all realise that there are some things that are not so fabulous going on with the sea, like sea level rise and plastic pollution. Some of us are going to the school strike for climate as a result of our concerns about things like this. So this song is about climate change and about pollution, called Sea Change.
call a sea change.
She's just swimming, chased by ships, silent cries on their lips. Shark to the ocean, bottom slipped. There'll be no fish and chips.
This is what they call a sea change. This is what they call a sea change.
While bleaching along the barrier reef, this is what they call a sea change. Water warming on the surface and deep beneath.
This is what they call a sea change.
Fish are swimming in plastic seas, stomachs filled with our debris. The fishing float hides very near. Will we still have fish fatigue?
This is what they call a sea change. This is what they call a sea change.
Tide looks higher than last year. This is what they call a sea change. An iceberg floated past my window, dear.
This is what they call
a sea change. Fish is swimming, chased by ships, silent cries on their lips. A shark to the ocean, bottom slips. No fish and chips. This is
what they call a sea change. This is what they call a sea change. We need to see change.
Thank you, but our Prime Minister doesn't want to hear about that, apparently. He had the chance. He went to an island that's slowly sinking for the last heads of state meeting in the Pacific. So it's important to write these songs to tell him off.
Yeah, when your neighbours are crying and you're ignoring them.
We're going to do some of our older. We're going to finish with two pieces, and we're going to actually promised Samuel Taylor Coleridge. Who knows Samuel Taylor Coleridge?
I met him down the deli the other day.
Yeah, the more erudite amongst you would know Samuel Taylor Coleridge, who, as we all know, was an opium addict, and he wrote most of his beautiful poems. He was one of the romantic poets of England, under the influence of opium, and opium was a very, very important drug at that time, because Hong Kong derives itself from opium, which has been in use. So this whole opium trail, we've been on the Silk Road, we're now on the Opium Road, and the Opium Road of Samuel Taylor Coleridge. He was sitting in his little basement in London imagining what the Orient was like. And so he wrote a poem called Xanadu, and it was basically his imagination of the mysterious world of China. So we thought we would put together a piece and take you on that journey all the way from China through to India, along the Silk Road, through into the top of the Balkans, and finish up in France. We wouldn't finish in London, but we'd finish in France, so we'll take you there musically with the poem of Samuel Taylor Coleridge. How about that? All right?
Blind Man's Holiday. In Xanadu did Kubla Khan a stately pleasure dome decree, where Alf the sacred river ran through caverns measureless to man, down to a sunless sea. There 'twas 5 miles of fertile ground, with walls and towers was girdled round, and there were forests rich with seamless rose, where blossomed many an incense-bearing tree. And here were forests ancient as the hills, enfolding sunny spots of greenery. Dulcimer in a vision once I saw. It was an Abyssinian maid, and on her dulcimer she played, singing of Mount Abora. Could I revive within me her symphony and song? To such a deep delight would win me, that with music loud and long I would build those domes of ice, those sunny domes, caves of ice, and all who heard should see them there. those caves of ice, those sunny domes, those caves of ice, and all who heard should see him there, and all should cry, beware, beware. His flashing eyes, his floating hair, weave a circle round him thrice, and close your eyes in holy dread, for he on honeydew hath fed,
and drunk the milk of paradise.
Thank you. We're going to finish up as we should with something old, but also we're going to pop in the middle something to make your evenings brighter. Because it could do with brightening up. Have we done a good job tonight? Oh, good. Thank you. So this one you can almost dance out of the room with, because we'll do a Greek drinking song in the middle of it. So this is like a bit of a put together. Again, this is our final number. So Shivani on the keyboards, Satomi on the percussion, Mary on guitar and voice, Zhao on the tuning, and myself.
Keith. So as you can see, Keith plays guitar clearly and writes great songs. And this is the santur, which is an ancient hammered dulcimer. There are lots of different forms of this instrument. This is a particularly ancient one. So, if you've ever been curious about what would happen if you took ancient instruments with lots of strings that don't come from Greece and sort of scrambled them with a Greek drinking song and some original tune writing of Keith's, well, it would sound a little bit like this. These instruments just make me feel like the guitar is an instrument for, people who've only got a certain level of skill. This is our last song. Thanks so much for having us.
Thank. No. Thank you. We actually don't get to play very often, so it's really nice to be able to come and play because there's not a lot of. We don't play in pubs and clubs, and
I know, it surprises
we don't get
you,
booked
right?
by festivals. So anyway, you can tell your friends you enjoyed Moonta Street, and you can join our Facebook page, and you can say, yes, they were a great band. You should book them for your next festival. In the Adelaide Hills, we love coming up the Adelaide Hills for the Apple Festival or the Pear Festival or the Blackberry Festival. We'd love to come up to do one of those fruit events. So we have got other songs, but we think we'll leave you with Moonta Street again because that's our theme song, and we want you to feel so good about Moonta Street that next time you go there for your shopping, you go up to those lions, and it doesn't matter if people are around, give them a big hug.
But we'd really like to thank Chloe for her beautiful set and Jeff for working the sound in such a complicated space. And Lee and the rest of the team for organising and setting up and supper and everything that makes this a really beautiful venue that clearly you feel really comfortable. And we'd like to thank you so much for coming and for being so generous. Lions, most majestic lions, guarding a sacred gateway. Facing south and growling, whosoever passes should pass in silence.
She doesn't need time to tune, really, just because she's got millions of strings.
You know, I think Moonta Street are a bit of a living treasure for Adelaide. Well, it's just so lovely to have songs written about places that we know, and I've forgotten the name of... Who was the woman we had last year? She lives in the city, but she writes about Lobosal. Can you help me out? Yeah. She and Peter, her husband. Adrian, Lovelock. You know, it's just so lovely to have songs written about places close by and places in the hills and places in Adelaide, and as much as we love other songs as well. But thank you so much for sharing this lovely collection of genres and music. Chloe, thank you very much, wherever you are in there somewhere. I can't see you, but thank you. Well done. What a lovely tone of voice. I hope to hear big things in the future. Thanks for all the people who help us out here. We've just about mentioned, a whole host of people, but Bruce and Dawn and Liz tonight, and Kathy and Philip, Elizabeth, Africa.